in charge did all he could. Eventually turned it over to Scotland Yard. They have a couple of men on it, I believe.
Merci beaucoup. I will make the notes of my own.
Husband's alibi looks unbreakable, and there are no other real suspects.
Do you have the background checks on the suspects?
Not yet, I'm afraid.
Mrs. Castle is very nervous. She may attempt the escape.
We're ready to follow if she does.
I have here the letter, written to Elena, signed only J.N. Do you think you could have Scotland Yard ask among her acquaintances in London if they can identify this man?
J.N.? It's not much to go on. Do you have anything else?
This photograph of the Redferns was taken by a Jimmy Nash, as you can see from the reverse side.
Yes.
I will ask Monsieur Redfern if he knows Monsieur Nash, but please send it along to Scotland Yard as well. It may help.
Of course.
Did Monsieur Blatt report to you that his boat had been fired upon?
I'll say not. When was this?
That I cannot tell you. He mentions an accident in the storm only.
What storm? We've had fair weather for weeks now.
Then why would he conceal such an attack?
I could bring him in for questioning.
Not just yet, please. Again, I would advise only to watch his movements should he leave Seadrift Island.
I'll inform my men.
Thank you, monsieur.
Can we talk later, Poirot? I have my other duties to attend to.
What can I do for you, Mr. Poirot?
You have heard of the terrible tragedy?
The murder of that wonderful actress, Mrs. Marshall? Oh, yes.
I have been asked to investigate.
Well, I'm sure you'll clear it up as fast as you found my missing post.
Merci, madame. Did you see any of the hotel guests this morning?
Yes. Major Barry came in around 9:30. He wanted to use the phone. Then he declared it wasn't private enough for his needs and said he'd drive into Kingsbridge instead. What do you suppose was so private he couldn't call from here? It's not as if I'm one to gossip.
Of course not. Did you see anyone else?
Yes. That young stepdaughter of Mrs. Marshall's came in to refill a prescription for her.
What was the prescription?
A sedative. Trianol.
When was Mademoiselle Marshall here?
Why, it was only a little while ago. Right before I heard the news of the murder.
Hold on. Elena was well dead by that time.
Indeed? She had no more need of the sedatives. Thank you, Madame Hughes. That is all my questions. Almost there. Hastings, this is important. Would you not agree? The substance on the stick pin, it is candle wax. The liquid in the unmarked bottle from Madame Marshall's bath is the color that made her hair such a striking shade. The substance contained in the smashed bottle found in Cutter's Cove? It is perfume? I am sorry, mon ami. The substance in Alena's coffee? It is trianol, a powerful sedative. The substance in Monsieur Black's suitcase is the oil for the protecting of a gun from rust, Hastings. The bottle thrown from the balcony, it contained artificial suntan.
May I help you, sir?
No, merci.
How may I be of service, sir?
I would like to send a telegram.
Of course, sir. Please just fill out one of those forms on the counter. Thank you, sir. I'll send it off at once. Thank you, sir. I'll send it off directly.
Hello again, Mr. Poirot. How can I help you?
I have a few matters to discuss only. What can you tell me of hotel guest movements this morning?
Well, let's see. Mr. Lane came across on the sea tractor fairly early this morning, about 8, I'd say, and set off on foot across the moor. He hasn't come back yet. Major Barry picked up his car, thanks again for repairing it, and drove off to Kingsbridge just before 10. Say, 10 minutes of... Major Black came in from sailing not too long ago and headed for the Monk's Head. I've seen no one else except the police and Dr. Needston coming and going. Colonel Weston went back to the police station, I think.
Do you know Mr. North?
The day tripper gent with the binoculars?
That is he.
Haven't seen him today at all, but he has no trouble wading across the causeway on his own.
He has been visiting Seadrift Island often?
Every now and again over the past few months. Anything else I can help you with, Mr. Poirot? You did a bang-up job on that motor of Major Barry's.
Do you have the handle of the winch used for the raising and lowering of the sails?
No, but I can probably track one down for you. Come back later this afternoon. Like a ride to the island?
Yes, please.
Let's be off then. I have a theory about the murder. What if it wasn't murder at all? Suicide. I know what you're thinking. I know it's difficult to commit suicide by self-strangulation. But what if Miss Stewart was choking on something like a chunk of apple or something?
This is a useful point to measure the time it takes to reach Cutter's Cove, the spot that will be the scene of the murder. From the Smuggler's End pub via the tunnel, it is 28 minutes. This is a useful point to measure the time it takes to reach Cutter's Cove, the spot that will be the scene of the murder. From the monastery ruins to Cutter's Cove via the tunnel, it is 11 minutes. And that, my friend, should be the last timing we need to determine how much time would be needed for any of our suspects to reach Cutter's Cove. Of course, they must also make their way from the scene of the crime as well. Mademoiselle, there is a favor you could do for Poirot. Would you be willing to help with an experiment?
What kind of experiment?
Or would you be so kind as to open the jar for me, please? Ah, I see you mean to prove your theory that no woman would have the strength to strangle Madame Marshall.
Can't do it, sir. It's on there ever so tight.
Would you mind asking one of the ladies at the hotel to open it?
Why a lady? Surely any of the sturdier gents could do it.
Well, Hastings, this is your plan. What do you say to that?
Tell her you have a phobia about other men opening jars for you.
What? Oh, that is absurd. She will think Poirot is a lunatic.
If you won't do it, I win my point. No woman could have throttled Arlena Marshall.
Mademoiselle Gladys, that is to say, I have the tiniest of phobias about other men opening jars for me. As unbelievable as that sounds.
Oh, no, sir. I believe it. Coming from you, I'll give it a go.
Who shall I have try it? Mademoiselle Brewster.
There you are, sir. I thought you'd forgotten about me. When you didn't return, I decided I would test every woman in the hotel for you.